Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix, and I have some exciting news for you. Before we watch the week ahead video, I wanted to be the first one to tell you about the next Traders Summit. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks. You guys are the first ones to be notified and to know about this event. We have a great panel discussion coming up. You can actually see all the speakers that are happening right here. You can see them right in front of your screen. Peter Schiff, Mark Yusko, Pump, Daniel Lacal. And then if you see the speakers that are coming up, our speaker lineup, it's amazing. The lineup is even better than the last event that we did. And so you guys make sure you register. It's free. It's free to attend, and it's free to hear from all of these amazing speakers. All you have to do is register. Obviously, it does kick off in a couple of weeks. Make sure you visit our sponsors, please. These sponsors are the ones that make this happen. It allows us to actually go out and find all of these great speakers. And if you want to be the next time we do these events, and if you want to register for the Trader Summit portal, just put in your name and email. So this way you'll be actually notified first before you have to wait for an announcement from me. So make sure you put your name in there. So guys and gals, enjoy the Traders Summit coming up in a couple of weeks, but don't forget to register. Don't forget to reserve your space because it is free, but we only have so many spaces of people that can actually log in live. All right. So make sure you get registered now and with a proper email address. All right, guys and gals, enjoy the week ahead video. And I'm just so excited that I get to bring you this news first. All right. My name is Blake Morrow. Enjoy the week ahead. Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the week ahead video for September 6th, 2020. This is a holiday weekend in the US, and so I'm actually filming this just a little bit early so I can enjoy my longer extended weekend, if you will. But there's obviously some things that are happening going into this next week that I really wanted to discuss. So as a result, I'm going to take a little bit of time to, talk to you about what's happening in the week ahead, some of the technical developments that I think are really important, and talk about a few things that happened this last week. But before I do so, I want to make sure that I wanted to explain, if you haven't tried out ForexAnalytix, make sure you try it because it's really only $1 for 10 days. You get to try out you get to try out the premium version, but it doesn't matter if you're going to use the light or premium version, you get to try out the premium version for at least 10 days. So make sure you download the mobile app because both versions have the mobile application. Put it on your cell phone or your tablet or whatever that you're using. So this way you can have our analysis, our updates as they come across live, and they can come right to your pocket or to your handheld. So if you want to also learn how to potentially get ForexAnalytix for free for a period of time, make sure you go to our Forex sponsored page on ForexAnalytix, because this way you can open a Pepperstone account. You can see this is myself discussing the benefits between the two companies with the head of analysis over at Pepperstone, Chris Weston. And if you want to open an account, you need to make sure you do it with this link. That's what's going to give you the access to ForexAnalytix. Also, if you're in the US, you can, or Canada, you can talk to Forest Park FX, and they can help you get cashback rebates on your trading, which everybody should be doing if you are trading with a retail brokerage firm. All right, so let's talk about, first and foremost, let's talk about some of the things that happened this last week. I think the important developments that have happened this last week is that the euro dollar pressed to 120. You can see it right here. It pressed to 120 and then reversed. So you caught a lot of people on the long side, as we were stretching, probably in some positioning, long positioning. And we sold off to channel support, and I believe this is very important channel support that you can see here at 118. Dips below the 118 level have found buyers for the last couple of weeks, and that's important to realize. I know there are a few banks that are pointing for a move below 117 eventually, for this support to give way. But I'm going to tell you right now, while we're holding above this channel support, there's no reason to be bearish. You can also see that we are also above this multi-year trend line here in the euro. So again, that all comes in around the 117 level. And so you got to be really careful being on the short side while above, the 118 and, the 117 levels. We break below that, and then I think the next, target would be 115, 116, 115. So below 117 would, give us an opportunity to sell off. And you can see relative strength is easing. So anything's possible while RSI is like mid-range where it is. The one thing that we have to keep in mind going into this next week is that we do have the ECB meeting. And that's going to come in on Thursday. So, is that going to be the catalyst that could drive us lower? Well, one of the things that I think we do have to keep in mind is the ECB, ECB Lane. He was suggesting earlier this week, and one of the reasons why the euro turned is that he said, and I'm going to paraphrase it, and it might be close to the quote. He said that the currency itself is not used, as a monetary tool, but it is factored in. So basically what they're saying is, hey, this rise in the euro is, this is the first signs of verbal intervention that we're getting from the ECB members. And he said something like that. I don't have the quote right in front of me. But the reason why I'm saying that is because if the ECB shows displeasure with the euro at current levels, we could see a little bit of selling. Now, on top of that, one of the risks that I believe is in the market right now is the topping pattern that we're seeing in the S&P. You guys have seen my chart. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm just going to pull it up via ForexAnalytix. So you can go over to S&P here. There it is. And you can see that we have completed the AB equals CD twice. AB, CD, megaphone pattern. Okay. And look at the candle. That's an outside week. Now, we did close above 3,400, which I'm sure bulls are like, thank God, because that was the previous high from, pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. So a break back below these lows would be definitely bearish. So, equities near term. That means to me, if we break below, let's just call it 3,350, we're probably heading back towards 3,100, maybe 3,000. Back into this megaphone pattern and probably closer into the middle of the range, longer term. Now, the reason why that's important is because if you're dealing with the euro, since the euro is predominantly the dollar index, a reversal like that lower will probably spark some dollar buying. Then if you have the ECB signaling displeasure with the higher euro exchange rate, the euro could trade back towards that 115 level, in the event that equities continue to sell off. So that's something that we should keep in mind going into this next week. Another development that I think that we should keep in mind going into this next week, and I'm going to pull up the US dollar Canadian. The dollar Canadian, we have the Bank of Canada rate decision on September 9th, which is Wednesday. Okay. Now, the dollar Canadian is trying to develop this inverted head and shoulder pattern, and this could still look like this, if you will. Okay. But what's more important is this down sloping trend line or channel resistance that comes in, right around the highs that we posted last week, which, you could say is roughly 131.70 to 132. Frankly, if we get back above 132, this is where things are going to turn a little bit more bullish in the US dollar Canadian. We could start to see a squeeze back towards that 200-day moving average. That's something that I've been keeping an eye on very closely. It's something that I've, I actually was, I'm still long some dollar Canadian, but trying to be on the long side has been very frustrating. And anyway, what we basically need is a move above 132 to trigger some near-term buying. Could that happen this week? Sure, it could, because a couple reasons. One reason is that we have, the Bank of Canada rate decision, and if the Bank of Canada is more dovish, that could actually set the wheels in motion where the Canadian starts to weaken. But I think one of the other things that we really got to keep an eye on is the weak crude oil prices. And let me show you crude really quick. Crude finally broke lower. We're through the 200-day moving average. You can see it right here. That came in around 40. We had this ascending channel that has kept us, since like mid-June. We've been just kind of bouncing around in this ascending channel, and you can see it right here. And I mean, with the recovery in equities that we've seen, and the NASDAQ at all-time highs, and S&P as well, yada yada yada, it's been very surprising to me that crude oil has failed to really rally after the initial move that we saw this spring, post-COVID lockdown. I'm surprised that crude hasn't made it back to 50, or had not made it back to 50. The fact that we're rolling over is, in my opinion, it's signaling to me the risks that the global economic slowdown is going to be a little bit more severe post-COVID shutdowns this year than the crude oil market's signaling that the demand's going to be weak. And this is even when output is relatively low with crude producing countries in the Middle East and OPEC. And so I'm really quite surprised that crude is so weak. And so this is one of those other reasons why I'm really keeping an eye on the dollar Canadian for a possible break higher. Again, it's above 32 where I start to, get very interested in the dollar Canadian. I'm going to give you guys a bonus pair. Okay. And obviously, if you guys are ForexAnalytix subscribers, you guys can read the analysis. Basic technical analysis is the analysis I do during the week. So not all of the charts, but every end of day chart that you get is my analysis. And through the day, either myself or Amanda or Polly or Steve, we update, the intraday charts. But this weekend, I ended up doing all the basic technical analysis for all of the currency pairs. And I mean, the 30 instruments, it's not all currency pairs, but the 30 instruments that we have, I did the analysis for. So if you want to catch up on the rest of my analysis, you can do it, again. Go take a trial of ForexAnalytix. It's $1. Then you can go read the rest of my analysis on all of these pairs. But I'm going to give you a bonus currency pair. Okay. There's so many other things that I could take the time to talk about, but I'm going to go enjoy my long weekend. So excuse me very much. All right. Let's talk about the Kiwi yen. Now, one of the things that I like about the New Zealand yen is that there's nothing that I see out of New Zealand that's happening this week that's coming up. And the following week, we will have GDP numbers out of New Zealand, so that's about a week and a half, but no real, no central bank meetings, no real. So the reason why this is important to me is because I think that the New Zealand yen is going to be more influenced by risk on and risk off. So risk appetite and risk aversion. And because stocks look a little peaky to me, right? After last week's move in the S&P, and it looks like the S&P may come off a little bit more. What I'm going to show you here is you got the New Zealand yen multi-year, and this goes back from 2014, multi-year trend line, right? Got that? All right, let me reset this chart. Now, If you look here, we have potentially a false breakout. Right? So what you're seeing here is 72 may be very significant resistance for the New Zealand yen. This is an 88% retracement. Okay. 88% retracement, trend line, and possible false breakout. So I'm going to be watching the New Zealand yen early next week. And frankly, if stocks look like they're going to resume their sell-off next week, the New Zealand yen is probably one of my top picks to trade short if stocks look like they're going to roll over. So again, that was just kind of an extra little nugget. Hopefully it's something that you keep an eye on going on in this next week. All right, guys and gals, if you're watching via YouTube, give me a thumbs up and like this video, and also pass it around on social media. Tell other traders about this. That makes us all feel, when I say us all, I'm talking about the ForexAnalytix team, makes us feel great that you guys are enjoying this. And I want to thank you for listening in, and I hope you have a great long weekend. If you are a normal listener to the F.A.C.E webinars every day, just realize that on Monday we will not be broadcasting because it is an observed holiday in the United States. So you guys have a great long weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday morning. My name is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Have a wonderful day.